classroom. I'm back with a new chapter of class 7, that is integers in mathematics. This was a requested actually video which I'll be doing today with the chapter integers. So, and this chapter is also very important in the sense because you need to know about the different additions or the different multiplication, that is a simplification of the integers, because this you will be requiring it till class 11, 12 and so on, because the signs are very important. Okay, so let's get started. I think it will be very easy chapter and a very short one. Anyway, the first thing that I'm going to discuss is what are integers. Now integers are the negative natural numbers and the whole numbers. As you know, the negative natural numbers, when I say is, that is minus infinity to minus 1. Okay, so from minus 1 to minus infinity, whatever numbers are there, those are known as the negative natural numbers, and including the whole numbers. Whole numbers, as you know, starts from 0, 0, 1, 2 and so on till infinity. So when I said it is a combination of negative natural numbers and whole numbers, so this total part is called the integers. Okay, now just we will draw a one number line to show you that how these are divided, that is how negative integers and how positive integers can be divided in a number line. Let's have a look. Now you can see I have drawn a number line. This is the point 0 towards its right hand side. As you can understand, this is the right side. So towards the right side we have the positive integers, that is plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4 until plus infinity. So these are the positive integers. And what about the negative integers? Ones which are to the left side of the 0 are the negative integers. Okay, till that is from minus 1 to minus infinity. These are the negative integers. So this is how we write the integers in a number line. I hope this picture is very clear for you to understand, right? Next, coming to the other portion, that how negative integers, or which are the numbers which are, that is if a set of numbers is given to you, how to write that in ascending order or in the descending order. I'll come to that. Now suppose we have a set of numbers given to us, that is 222, 22, minus 222, minus 224, minus 2, 20, 20, 223. Suppose these are the set of numbers that are given to you. You have to arrange that in ascending order. Ascending order means what? From small to big. From smaller number to bigger number. Now imagine these numbers to be in a number line. Imagine these numbers to be in a number line. Suppose for these numbers I am drawing this particular number line. Okay. I hope this is not a straight line, so don't get confused that why this line is going up. It is just because of my drawing that it has come like that. Now supposing this to be 0. So which number after 0 is going to come first? Obviously you can see here the positive numbers will come towards the right hand side, right? So the first smallest number over here, the positive numbers are 20. That means first that will come as 20. Then it will come as 22. Then it will come as 222. And then 223. Right? And towards the left hand side, that is towards the negative integers, you know that it starts from minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 and it increases on the other side, right? So that means the first number that is going to come is minus 2. That means minus 2 is the first number that is going to come. Then which one is going to come? Minus 222 and then minus 224. Right? So you can easily understand the smallest number or the integer in this particular series that I have given is minus 224. Okay, then which one is greater? Minus 222. Then which one is greater? Minus 2. Then it's coming is 20. Then is your 22. After that comes your 222. And last, the biggest number of this series is 223. Right? I'll come up with some more examples. See. Let's take minus 324 and minus 233. Which one is bigger? This one or this one? In a number line, towards the left hand side, that is towards the negative integers, which is going to come first, this one or this one? Obviously zeros, that is the numbers near to 0 will be this, and the far from 0 will be this. That means this number is bigger than this number. Okay, this is nearer to 0, nearer to 0, right? So this is greater than this. I hope I'm very clear with this topic, right? Next, coming to the next part is what is about when we talk about the absolute value of a number or of an integer. Let's take for example, suppose -3 and we are taking a mod. This particular sign, this particular 2 dash like this, okay, horizontal bars are known as modulus. Okay, this horizontal 2 lines are known as modulus. So mod of -3 will give you 3. Okay, that means whenever, or suppose 4, modulus of 4 will give you 4. That is, whenever we take a negative integer, taking the modulus of it gives the absolute value, that is the positive number 3. And for a positive number, taking the modulus of it will always give you only that particular positive integer. Okay, whenever we take absolute value of a negative integer, we get the positive value because we take the modulus of it. Okay, and whenever we take any positive integer, we will obviously get the positive integer back. So this is the actual idea of absolute value of an integer. Okay, that is, we find out that is the absolute value just by taking the modulus of that particular negative integer. Whenever we take the absolute value, that is a modulus of the negative integer, we get the number, we get the positive number. We never get the positive, that is a negative number, back. We get the positive number. From a negative number, when we take the modulus, we get the positive number. I hope I am clear because I have repeated a number of times with this. Absolute value means taking the modulus of that particular integer. If it is negative, it will become positive. If it is positive, it will remain positive. Next, coming on the operations on integers. Now there are addition properties, obviously multiplication properties. So one by one we will come through it. So let's get started with the addition properties. Now for addition, as you know, we have some of the properties like closure property. Now for closure property, as you know, if we take a and b as integers, a and b as integers, then this is for addition. So in that case, a plus b will be equal to c, right? This particular c that we get is also an integer. Okay, let's take for example, suppose I am taking a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3. So whenever we take a plus b, that means 2 plus 3, we get 5. So 5 here is also an integer, right? So this is how addition property holds for the closure property. Next part we come to the next property, that is your commutative property. A and b both are integers, their addition results will also be an integer. That's what I have shown. Next, coming to the property of commutative property. Now what is a commutative property? Suppose a plus b is equal to b plus a. That is, suppose if the numbers are added, okay, you get a result. Again, if the numbers are rearranged, that is b is added to a, okay, so in that case the results also comes the same. That is, suppose 2 plus 3 will give you 5. Again here 3 plus 2, if you rearrange the digits and add, here also you will get 5. That means a plus b is equal to b plus a. That is a rearranging or reversing the digits. The results remains the same as the original digits. Clear? This is what is your commutative property. This particular thing is for your commutative property. Okay, next coming to associative property. Let me just tell you, associative property is almost same like commutative property. Here in commutative property we were dealing with two particular numbers, and here in the associative property we will be dealing with three different numbers. That is associative property. This is C here, don't get confused. Associative property. Now for associative property, A plus B plus C is equal to A plus B plus C. As you know, there is bracket, that means bracket function we are going to work out fast. So let's take this as the law and let's solve it. Suppose this to be as 2, 3 plus 4. Let's solve this, and here it is coming to 2 plus 3 plus 4. So as usual, you know, we are going to work out the bracket first. So 2 plus 7, that is going to give you 9. Okay, again here 5, 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 4 is going to give you 9. So both the results as you see are same. So that means associative property holds for addition. Okay, so this was your formula for your associative property with three different numbers. Okay, if you rearrange, answers will become the same or will come the same. Clear? Next. Now coming to the fourth property or the next property, as you can say, addition or additive identity. Now additive identity is, suppose a number, that is a particular integer, is added to 0, you will get back the integer itself. That is, anything if you add to 0, the same number will be repeated. Suppose 2 is a number, 2 plus 0, 0 plus 2. Whichever way you arrange or rearrange you write, you will get back the integer itself. So this is your property for additive identity. Okay, next coming to additive inverse. Additive inverse tells us that if we take an integer, suppose a, its additive inverse will be minus a. So if these two numbers, that is an integer and its additive inverse is added, we get 0. If the integer and its additive inverse is added, we get 0, because we know a plus minus minus a will give you 0. So that means 2 plus of minus 2 will give you 0. Okay, I'll repeat this once more. The additive inverse of a particular integer is its negative integer. Or suppose you have minus 3 here. So what is the additive inverse of this? Additive inverse of this is minus of minus 3, that means 3. So whenever you add this minus 3 to plus 3, you will get what? 0. So additive inverse is the opposite sign of the integer. If it is positive, it will become negative. If it is negative, it will become positive. Okay, additive inverse is just the opposite sign of the integer. And when these two results are added together, that is the integer and its additive inverse, we get the result as 0. That is in both the cases I have shown. One I have taken a positive integer and what is its additive inverse, and another one we have taken a negative integer and how we get its, or what is its the additive inverse. That's what I have shown it over there. Okay, so this is about the properties of addition. Okay, so these we need while doing the sums. We'll come to it later on. Before that, let me just discuss the properties. Next, coming to the multiplication properties. Same thing for multiplication again. Let's have a look. Now, for the closure property, same thing. Two integers are given to you, a and b. If you multiply, you will get the result, which is also an integer. As for example, a into b is equal to c. Suppose a and b are integers, c will also be an integer. 2 into 3 are the examples. So suppose a is 2 and b is 3. So you multiply these two, you will get 6, right? So 6 is also an integer. Okay, so this is the property. If these two are integers, the result of it will also be an integer. So this was what was closure property. So as you can understand, that closure property holds for multiplication. Next, coming to commutative property. Now coming to commutative property, a into b will give you b into a. Okay, suppose 2 into 3 is giving you 6. Again, if you rearrange the digits and multiply, 3 into 2, that also will give you 6. So you can understand, even after rearranging the digits, the results remains the same for commutative property in case of multiplication. So this was what is your law or formula for commutative property. Now, as you know, for associative property, we have three different integers, right? So associative property, A into B into C will give you A into B into C, right? So let us take this two as LHS and RHS. Now for this, let's take example 2 into 3 into 4, and here 2 into 3 into 4. Now here 2 into 3 is what? 6 into 4 is 24. Here 2 into 12 is what? 24. Okay, because we are working on the brackets function first. So 6 into 4, 24. Again here we have the bracket function first. So 3 into 4 is 12, 2 into 12 is 24. So you can understand, so this was the particular again law of associative property. Okay, so you can see easily that with rearranging, results are not changing, they are the same. So this is what is your associative property. Then coming to your distributive property. What is distributive property? There is a particular law of this distributive property of multiplication over addition. What is this distributive property? Distributive property is, it's very important, please children, please listen to this very carefully, it's really very important. Okay, distributive property. A into B plus C will give you A into B plus A into C. Okay, this is your particularly the law of distributive property of multiplication over addition. So coming to this, suppose let's take as 2, 3 and 4. So 2 into 3 plus 4. RHS 2 into 3 plus 2 into 4. Now let's work out with this. As you know, we are going to add it first because of the brackets. So 2 into, you are having here 7. You are getting here 14, right? Next, here you are having 2 into 3. First the brackets will work out. So 2 into 3 is 6 plus 2 into 4 is 8. So 6 plus 8 is what? 14. As you can see, the results are same. So this particular is your distributive property. Please remember the formula for this. It's very important. Okay, if you are asked that you are given 2 through 3 numbers, you are asked to prove the distributive property, you will do accordingly to this particular formula. Okay, next, coming to the next property, that is multiplicative identity. Now what is multiplicative identity? A into 1, that is any number when multiplied with 1 will give you the same number or the same integer itself, right? Even if you reverse and multiply, you will get the same number, same integer. 2 into 1 or 1 into 2 will give you 2. So this is what your multiplicative identity is. Now coming to multiplicative inverse. Multiplicative inverse. Now what is multiplicative inverse? As there you have heard of the term that is additive inverse. Here also we have multiplicative inverse. In case of that additive inverse, we were just taking the negative of the particular integer. Okay, or maybe the negative integer, we were taking the additive inverse as its positive one. Here we are just going to take the reciprocal of the particular number. Reciprocal of the particular number. Suppose 2 is a number. Its multiplicative inverse will be what? 1 by 2. Okay, and whenever you you multiply these two, that is 2 into 1 by 2, we get 1. Okay, whenever we multiply the integer and its multiplicative inverse, we get 1. So in case of that, suppose I am taking another number as 1 by 3. Okay, although this is not an integer, I will take minus 3. So its multiplicative inverse will be what? 1 minus 1 by 3, right? Whenever we multiply, that is minus 3 into minus 1 by 3, what will be the answer? 1. Minus minus is plus and 3 will get cancelled. We get 1. So remember that the multiplicative inverse of any particular integer is its reciprocal. Reciprocal means what? 1 divided by the integer. Reciprocal means what? Reciprocal means taking the integer in division form of 1. That is 1 divided by 2. That means you get 1 by 2. This thing. Okay. So this is your multiplicative inverse. That is a reciprocal of the number will give you the multiplicative inverse of the particular number, and if both are multiplied you will get 1. Next, coming to subtraction. Subtraction, you can only say the closure property holds, because suppose 2 minus 3 you are having minus 1. Okay. Now here minus 1 is also an integer. Okay. This is the closure property for 2 is a this integer is also a that is 2 is also an integer. Here 3 is also integer. Both are subtracted, you are getting minus 1. Minus 1 is also a negative integer. It is also within the integers. So that is why the closure property holds for subtraction. But you can try out by yourself that the commutative property, or you can say for the associative property, nothing holds for the subtraction. Just small example, here I had taken 2 minus 3, right? So we are getting here answer as minus 1. Again, if we rearrange the digits and take 3 minus 2, we are getting 1. So you can easily understand that minus 1 and 1 are not the same answers, right? So this is your formula for commutative property for subtraction. Okay, that is a minus b is not equal to b minus a. A minus b is not equal to b minus a. This is the commutative property. It's not holding for subtraction. Same for associative law, not holding, and the others also. Okay. Next, coming to the division part. Now division also same thing. None of the numbers or integers holds a the closure property. You might say, Miss, suppose, or ma'am, suppose we are having a number that is 14 divided by 2. 14 is an integer, 2 is an integer. We are having 7, right? So 7 is an integer. Good, right enough. But suppose I am taking a number 16 divided by 0. That means what? 16 by 0. We know 16 by 0 is undefined. We don't have any particular value for this particular number, for this division. That is undefined. That means there is at least one particular case where it does not hold. In that case, we cannot say that the closure property holds for all integers under division property. No. Okay, we will say that doesn't holds. Closure property also doesn't holds. Same for your commutative property for division. Suppose 4 divide 2. 4 by 2. That is what? Answer is 2, right? Again, suppose I am writing 2 divided by 4. That means 2 by 4. Answer is what? 1 by 2. Answer is 0.5. Are these answers same? No. That means commutative property does not hold. That means A divide B is not equal to B divide A. And there are other properties which you know, associative property, identity, inverse, nothing exists for division. Not even a single property holds for division. For subtraction, only one property holds, that is closure property, and none of them holds for subtraction. I hope I'm clear with all the properties of all the operations, that is addition, multiplication, subtraction and division, right? Next, coming to the operations part now. How will you do the calculation or the simplifications? Now, seeing to that, for addition purpose, I will say, this is a very easy way of telling you that please listen to me carefully. 2 plus 3, you have what? 5, right? Now, suppose 2 plus of minus 3. Now, should know that plus minus is minus. So, we will have 2 minus 3, that is minus 1. Now, you might ask the question, why minus 1? Now, you can see 3 is a greater digit than 2. So, what is the sign before the greater digit? It is minus. So, the whole answer will carry the sign minus. Whichever digit is greater, you have to see the sign which is beside it. Okay, and as along you have to put that particular sign in the answer. Now suppose we are having 14 plus minus 14 plus 16. Okay, so as well you can understand minus plus means you have to do the operation minus. Okay, and here we will be doing the operation minus, so answer that we will get is 2. Now what is the sign that is going to sit beside 2? That is plus 2. Why plus? Because here 16 is a greater digit which is carrying the sign plus. But 14 is having negative which is smaller to 16. So that is why we are having the sign as plus. I hope I am very clear with this topic, right? Next. This was for addition. Suppose for subtraction I am coming to. 3 minus 2, you get 1. Okay? Then again, 3 minus 4, you get what? Minus 1. Why? Because 4 is greater to 3 and the sign beside 4 is minus. So we will have the minus sign in the answer. Next, minus 3, minus 7. Okay? Minus 3, minus 7. That means we are going to minus is what? Tell me. It is plus. We know the operation will be plus. And so operation is plus. That means 3 plus 7 will give you 10. But what will be the sign beside it? Obviously the one with the greater digit which is carrying. That is, it is carrying a minus sign. So we will have minus in the answer. Okay. Next, coming to suppose minus 4 minus of minus 9. Okay. So as you know, minus 4 minus is plus 9. Now minus plus operation will be minus. So here we have answer as 5. Now what will be the sign for this answer? Obviously 9 is greater digit than 4. So 9 is carrying the sign plus. So here we will have the plus sign. We don't have to write it. This is just now for mentioning you that the sign here will be positive. Whenever you don't write anything here, that means it is a plus sign. If you write anything that means minus, then obviously the sign will be the minus. So these are the operations that we are going to carry out in the simplifications. Next, coming for multiplication. Multiplication, it's very easy. Just see, minus 3 into 2. First you multiply these two digits. You are getting 6. Now which is the sign here? Minus. Again, now minus 3 into minus 2. Okay. First multiply. 3 into 2 is what? 6. Now minus is what? Plus. The sign will also come to plus. For multiplication, we will also multiply the signs also. Before in addition and subtraction, you have seen we were not doing that. We were just multiplying just to see whether the operation will be a subtraction or addition. As soon as we get the answers, and accordingly we place the signs. But for multiplication, we also multiply the signs also. I hope this too is very clear to you. Then coming for division part. Suppose 14 minus 14 by 2. You are dividing it. That is, you are getting minus 7. This minus will stay. Again, minus 8 by minus 2. Minus will cancel. Okay, so 2 4s, the answer will be plus 4. Okay, if two signs are there and there is a division sign, minus will get cancelled. If only one is there, obviously the minus sign will persist, will remain over there. I hope class, those who are watching the video right now, it should be very clear to you with all this, right? Next, coming to the simplification part. Now we are coming up with a simplification. So the sum is third bracket, second bracket 11 minus first bracket 14 minus 18 divide 2. First bracket close, second bracket close into 4 minus 3. The third bracket divide 7. Next, 11 minus, first as you know we will be working out the first bracket and the division first. So 14 minus 18 divided by 2 is how much? 9. So 14 minus 9, close the brackets into 4 minus 3 divide 7. 11 minus 14 minus 9 is 5. Close the second bracket into 4 minus 3. Now 11 minus 5 is how much? 6. So 6 into 4 minus 3. Now as you know, multiplication will be done first. 6 into 4 is 24. I have written here after that 24 minus 3 divide 7. So 24 minus 3 is 21, divide 7 is 3. 21 divided by 7 is 3. So this is how you are going to work out. Okay, you can see how the change of sign is taking place. Okay, now a question has been given. A railway engine starts shunting wagon by going 1200 meter north of railway station. Then it reverses and travels 1650 south, after which it again moves 850 meter north. Finally, after pulling a wagon 1000 meter south, the engine driver takes rest. how far is the engine from the station? Is it the stations towards the north or the south? That we have to find out. Now just have drawn a small diagram to make you understand. Rest you can do it by yourself. That is, suppose this engine is going towards the north by 1200 meters. Okay, so this is the north direction, this is the south direction, this is again north direction, this is again south direction. Now north of the railway station, so you can understand where is the railway station. This is a railway station. Okay, now so considering this to be the railway station, it is going north 1200 meter, then again after that it is going 1650 meters to the south. So what is the difference in the, that is distance that is covering? This is 450 meter, right? 1650 minus, that is 1650 minus 1200, it is giving you 450 meter. So this is the difference between the distance, amount of distance that it has covered more towards the south. Now after going 1650, it is again going 850 meters north, and from 850 meters north again it is coming down to 1000 meter. Now as it is reaching 1000 meter, the engine driver is taking a rest. So what is the extra amount of distance or extra distance that it is covering? It is 1000 minus 850, that is giving you 150. So here it is 150. So what is the total distance, that is how far is the engine from the station? Obviously the engine will be how much? 450 plus 150, that is 600 meter away. Okay, that also towards the south. Here is the engine, here was the station. Okay, so obviously it is towards the south. Okay, that is 600 meter south. So it was a simple explanation. You can simply see 1200 meters north it is going, then again 1650 meters south. So what is the difference in the distance that it is covering? 450 meter, by just finding out the difference. Then from there again it is going up by 850 meters, and then again it is coming down by 1000 meters. So what is the difference between the this last two, that is journey, that is 1000 minus 850, you are getting 150. So if you add these two, you will get the how far is the engine from the station. And then again if you see, is it to the stations north or south? Obviously if the station is here, the engine is this, so it is towards the south of the station. This is the station and this is the engine. So you can easily understand it is to the south of the station. Okay, so 600 meter south. Okay, so this will be your answer. Now you can write the way you want the statements. I hope the idea is clear to you. It is going 1200 meter north, then again it is coming by 650. So what is the difference in the distance that it is covering? 1650 minus 1200. Then from 1650, wherever it was, it went to 850. From then again it came back south to 1000 meters. Now again there will be a difference in the distance. What is it? 1000 minus 850, you are getting 150. So this total difference is 450 minus plus 150, you are getting 600 meters. Now this is the, now obviously you can understand this is the engine here, so it is towards the south of the station. So this was your total idea about this particular sum, which was of integers. It is just a plus and minus sum that you have done here. So this was all about the chapter of integers. I hope you have understood. If you have not understood any part or you want more explanation, you can comment me over there. I can write you back. And obviously if you have liked this video, please like it, share it, and do subscribe so that you can get other more videos of these types. Thank you. Have a good day.